Hello there and welcome to my channel Dante77X. Welcome to my channel once more, and here today I'm going to be teaching you about HTML on Android. I know most of you thought it was probably impossible, but good thing Code Labo came through for us, and they have this application which you should get. I have the link in the description, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. My WhatsApp business account is in the description as well. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So first of all, I'm supposed to write doc type HTML, then HTML. I'm sure you know the very basics of the HTML. So right here I'm just going to write new, and I'm just going to give this the title of first lesson, and then we go into the body. So I'm going to be teaching you about four main elements, which is the heading element, the paragraph element, the div element, and the span element, which I'll also teach you how to style. I'm a very good teacher, and I teach you really fast, and I guarantee that within a week you have enough to make a considerable web design with those things. So first of all, let's get right into it. I'm going to be teaching you about the heading element, so I'm just going to write heading 1, and then I close that element right here, and there, as you can see, heading 1 has just been displayed, or I could just write headings 1, and as you can see, it's been displayed. With the heading element, you just don't have to cover it with just the H1 element. You can move from H1 up to H6, and the difference is in size. If I am to put H2 right here, H2, sorry, please forgive for that one. I was trying to write hi there, please forget that one too. And there it displays what I wrote, whatever I did right. Please forgive me right there. My arms are shaking, this is my first time. And if I am to write H6, it would display even smaller than H2. And as you can see there, H6 is the smallest one possible. It's really small. It's even smaller than our paragraph element. So most people just use H1, but the problem is that if you use H1 for every single element and you want to style them differently, it will be really hard to be able to separate them. That's where CSS comes in. I'll be teaching you about this later on this tutorial. So without further ado, let's get into the paragraph element. So for every heading we can have a paragraph. Like here I can just write P1 or just P, whatever comes to you. Heading 1 is me. So there, I close that P element, and there it writes heading 1 is me right under heading 1. And then we go further into heading 2, and there, as you can see, it's just displayed heading 2 is cool right under heading 2. And then heading 6, don't worry, you can also write something under it. Heading 6. And there, heading 6 is, well, something. And as you can see, the paragraph is even bigger than its own heading. And I'm going to be teaching you how to style those using heading 6 in itself. So furthermore, I'm going to be teaching you about the div element. If you do get this application and the other CSS applications and the JavaScript application, you may need to use the div element a lot. It's mostly used in these tutorials, which is what taught me everything I'm now teaching you. And then I'm going to write here that the div element is mostly used. And then I close this, and as you can see, it's just as big as the P element. They're almost the same. And then once more, I'm going to use the span element. Then I'm going to write ipsum dot set element. Is this correct? I don't really know about this. I just saw it a couple of times. I didn't really memorize it, because who wants to memorize this stuff? Nobody. And there is the same as heading 1 in the div element, but as you can see they are pieced together. Let's try putting it up there. They're still pieced together because the style element makes the element that's above it really stick to the other one. So we put that one back where it belongs, below there. And now I'm going to be teaching you the CSS part of this. We go right there, right in front of title. We go down, and right before head, we close the heading element. We put style. If you put style anywhere else in this document, it will not show. So please remember this. And just close the style element in advance so that you don't forget right there. That's another insertion part. So in order to style these, you can just write H1 there, and you can write color. I'm going to give it the color red. Sorry for the spelling. And as you can see, heading 1 has just been given the color of red. And if I am to give it a background color of let's give it the color of blue. There, the background color has just been given the color of blue. And if I am to style heading 2 or heading 6, I'm just going to style heading 6. Like I said before, I'm going to be using heading 6 as an illustrative example. I can write font size, then I'm going to give it a font size of 36 pixels. That is just almost as big as heading 1, and it doesn't really matter whether you use heading 1 or heading 6, but using heading 1 is an advantage because it's already big and you won't have to spend your time styling the heading 6 with CSS. And though that's not all we can do, you can also give it a text shadow. And I give it there's supposed to be 3 elements here, px 5 pixels. There you can see it's just been it's like a tiny smudge as of now, but if I am to add more to them, like if I am to put 7 here and then 5 here, I spend a lot of time experimenting with these guys. And as you can see a shadow of what the text that we have here right in the back over there. So that's a useful little feature. We can also give it the color to not make it look so dull. I'm going to give it a colorful color that I really like, which is cayenne. And there, as you can see, it's really bright, and I just like that. You can also give it a color of blue, and there again it's also blue. And we go deeper into the P element. We can style every single element we have here, but the problem that we will have soon is that if you have multiple headings and multiple paragraphs, the problem will be that if you want to style them differently, then it will be really difficult because they will all have the same element. So in that case, we will have to use IDs or the class element, and the h1 id equals head 1. And as you can see there, it's just begin with the idea of head 1. And so if you're trying to style it above here, you're supposed to put a hashtag, then head 1, the name, the specific name of the element that we're trying to style. Color red. There it is, the color red. I'm just going to remove it for this one. I'm just going to remove the one, and as you can see, it already has the color red, but it's just been removed the background color blue because it no longer, because this all no longer belongs to heading 1. It just belongs to H, and since there's no H in our HTML document, it styles absolutely nothing. So now what we're supposed to do is add another background color of blue. There. And we have a background color of blue. And you can also use the class element. I'm just going to use it on, let's try the div element. Div class equals blue. Let's just write, let's give it the class of blue. It doesn't really matter, but the difference between the class and the ID element is that when you're trying to style the ID, you're supposed to use a hashtag, but when you're styling the class element, you use a full stop, then you put the name. So please remember that. That's very essential. And then you put color. Let's give it a color of kind as well. And then background color. We're not forgetting you girls. I know you're there. I guess you're going to give it a color of pink. There we go. Background color pink, and then the color is kind. So guys, this is just pretty much the basic HTML and CSS. We're just going to be teaching you a lot more tags and how to style those, how to create stuff like you can create drop down menus and a lot of stuff like that. You know, I've personally created like a whole collection of these things. As you can see there are a lot of things that I've just written there. As you can see, don't worry about all of these tags. You will learn about them in due time, but in advance you can also get the Learn CSS application, which is in the description, and other applications by Code Library, which you can also get below. And there are a lot of other tags that you can learn over there, guys, so please do get the application. Keep coding on. And I'm just going to show you a basic drop down menu which you can also be creating later if you stay with us. It's going to give it the display block, which gives it a normal display. And as you can see, I've just created a drop down menu, but it goes nowhere since I haven't put links. I've just put how to join, the names of some people in our organization, and a few other things below. So please keep connected and keep learning.